Hey guys, welcome to another rebuild video. Today, we'll be rebuilding this light action L525 rear derailleur. Make sure you have the right one, just check on the back and make sure it says L525. This also applies to the light action L523, which is just basically the same as this one. The main difference is the 525 has an aluminum parallelogram and the 523 has a steel one. These derailleurs come on road bikes and touring bikes, so whether you have a short cage, a long cage, or a mid cage, you're in the right place. Some tools you're going to need are a screwdriver, a hex set, a nut driver or a wrench, a pick, and some pliers. Alright, now that the pulleys are out, time to service the springs. So you want to grab your pick, get it under that groove, and pull out this clip. Alright, now just pull this metal part over that little aluminum stopper and it springs out. First comes off this retaining ring, then the washer and the spring, and then the bolt. Along with another seal. Alright, to service the B spring, first take out this little stopper with a screwdriver. Then you let go of the cage, it springs all the way back. Now you're going to want to loosen this bolt. So now bring out your 6mm and just loosen this bolt. And there you go. Alright, so in my case this bolt is not coming out. It's kind of stuck in there, so don't force it and just leave it in there. Alright, so the next thing you want to address is rust. If your derailleur is rusty, you want to put it in a bath of either Metal Rescue or just some kind of rust dissolver. Before putting it in a rust dissolver, you want to clean it off first, just so the dirt doesn't get into your rust dissolver, therefore making you replace it sooner. So just grab all your rusty parts and clean them off using some degreaser. So here I'm using this ultrasonic cleaner, and we're going to give these parts a quick little clean. Okay, so after just 5 minutes in the ultrasonic, you can see it removed a lot of dirt, so now time to Metal Rescue. And while your parts are soaking in the Metal Rescue, just use this time to scrape off any loose dirt off the pulleys in the cage. For this you can just use a brush. Just make sure that you just get all the big dirt off before you use degreaser. And same thing here for the cage. So after all the parts are rust free, now it's time to do some deep cleaning. In my case, I'm using this ultrasonic cleaner. You can use any type of other degreaser you have. All I do is pour in some water and then add some soap. Alright, now with everything cleaned off, now it's time to just do some waxing. Here I have some of the chrome parts laid out. For this I use this Quick-Glo wax. It protects the chrome from rusting and it gives it a nice polish. So for the parallelogram, the only thing that's chrome is just this little back plate right here and the bolt. And same thing for this bolt, just do the top. You don't have to do the entire thing. Alright, now so with everything clean and polished, it's now time to assemble. And another thing you're going to need is grease. Alright guys, so first part of the assembly is greasing up the inside of the P-knuckle and then just inserting this little bolt here. When you insert the bolt, you want to have the groove side up. Alright, now just put a little bit of grease on the spring and insert it with the short end in. Alright, now once you got the spring in, just insert the seal. So after your seal is in place, just bring out this metal retaining ring and push the spring through the hole. You're going to want to bring this metal part right here all the way around this aluminum. For this, I like to use a pair of pliers to grab on this to kind of swing it around. This is probably the hardest part of this job, so just take it slow. Alright, so once you do get your metal washer on, just get your clip on and slide it on. Also, if you did take out the limit screw, make sure to just screw it back in. Alright, now the B-knuckle, same thing, just grease up the inside, grease up the bolt, and grease up the spring. So after you grease up the inside of the B-knuckle, just grab your spring, and again, same thing, put the short end in. After you're done with that, just put on this little retaining ring and your seal. Alright, so make sure everything's greased up, and then just screw on this cage here. And there's two little holes here. You might be wondering, oh, which one should I put it in? Well, this one is for it to be lighter, and this one's for it to be a little bit more tight. Depends on what kind of bike you're using. And also make sure not to put the cage on backwards. You can usually tell by the shift scratches over here from the chain. Yeah, just put it on with this facing up. Alright, now your derailleur looks something like this, and it probably shouldn't. So just bend back this little parallelogram, and you're going to want to screw in the pin into that little hole right there. Alright, so make sure to tighten this pin down really nice, especially if you're using Loctite. And this one, just tighten enough so the cage moves smoothly without any play. Alright, now the hardest part of the rebuild is done. You can now relax, and time to do the pulleys. So you want to put a little bit of lube on this center-on guide pulley, and as well as a little bit inside this bushing itself, just a touch. And put it on your washer, and then go ahead and slide it on. And after the second washer is on, just grab the cage and twist it on. Same exact thing for the tension pulley, just grease it up a little bit and tighten down the bolt. And now you can put on the little clamp bolt, and we can now do some polishing to this aluminum parallelogram. For this, I like to use some either 400 or 600 sandpaper, and then I use this Autosol metal polish. So here are the results after polishing with some 600 sandpaper, now on to 1000. Alright, so after some 1000 and some 2000 grit and some polishing, here is the finished derailleur. So remember, just tighten down those pulley bolts and put on the barrel adjuster, and you got yourself a fully rebuilt derailleur. If you do have an L523, you have a steel parallelogram, so remember to wax it or coat it for something to prevent corrosion. And remember guys, if you have an old derailleur, don't replace it, just rebuild it. Don't be afraid to use those older parts. Subscribe for more, and I'll see you in the next one.